As the release date of the RTX 2080 Ti is getting closer and closer, there are more and more leaks about its performance and benchmarks, and unfortunately, they aren't looking too good. Welcome to Hari's Hobbies. So our first performance right here is coming from EA DICE's new Battlefield 5, which is going to be coming out in just 2 months. And Christian Holmquist, who is the technical director of DICE, stated that they needed to dial back ray tracing in order to increase frame rates and make images look more credible. Christian claims that they have been working very hard to implement ray tracing technology without hurting FPS, and that the best way they have found to do this is increase the minimum system requirements and utilize more cores. Now this is not too bad because most people buying an RTX series card already have high-level CPUs as well. Christian finally states that they are targeting 1920 by 1080p at 60 frames per second with ray tracing technology enabled. Now he doesn't specify what card this is for. This level of performance would actually be okay for the RTX 2070. 60 frames per second at 1080p for ray tracing technology enabled for a $500 card is actually not that bad, especially considering that it is such a demanding game. With that type of performance in ray tracing technology, this is a really good sign for traditional gaming as well. However, the bad thing is that this may be the target for higher level cards like the RTX 2080 or RTX 2080 Ti based on other performance leaks, so it may not be looking so good for the 20 series. This similar trend continues with other games as well. PC Games End saw fluctuating FPS from 33 FPS to 48 FPS on Shadow of the Tomb Raider when they were demoing it. Now this is for the RTX 2080 Ti, and I know that this is just a demo and there will be more optimization and driver updates, but really, how far can optimization and driver updates really take ray tracing technology? To me, it seems like the Shadow of a Tomb Raider team will also have to dial back ray tracing technology in order to just reach 60 frames per second. By the looks of this, it seems as if all top-level modern games will have trouble reaching 60 frames per second at just 1080p with ray tracing technology enabled, even for the $1,200 RTX 2080 Ti, and this is just the beginning of its lifetime. Imagine a year or two later when games are even more advanced. Will the RTX 2080 Ti struggle to even push 30 frames per second at that point? So this is all the performance data that we have, but what exactly does this mean? Well, basically, NVIDIA is expecting us to pay $1,200 for the performance that we would usually expect out of a GTX 1060. Now, I know that the GTX 1060 does not have ray tracing technology, and while ray tracing technology looks absolutely spectacular and it is really hard to render, in the end, it is just shadows and little reflections here and there. As a result, I'm pretty sure that 99.9% of gamers would take higher resolution over ray tracing technology any day of the week. And people who are buying RTX series cards most likely don't game at 1080p. They most likely have 1440p or 4K monitors. So in the end, while they may play with it at the beginning to see how it makes their games look at low resolutions, in the end, they'll probably just turn it off in order to game at higher resolutions. And at that point, the 20 series and ray tracing technology is pretty much completely pointless. What's the point of buying an RTX card if you're just going to use it for traditional gaming? For example, you can just rather go out and get a GTX 1080 Ti, which is right now at $600, which is half the price of the RTX 2080 Ti. And I can tell you right now, without looking at anything, that the RTX 2080 Ti will not have double the performance of the GTX 1080 Ti in terms of traditional gaming performance. So at that point, the GTX 1080 Ti would be the clear winner. Honestly, right now, ray tracing technology does seem like a gimmick that no one will really ever use. Even the top level cards can't really handle it well, and most games won't even support it. Even people who are buying these cards specifically for the ray tracing technology probably won't use it for a good portion of their gaming time. In the end, it seems like the hardware just isn't quite ready to handle such high level rendering, and right now at least, most people who are buying the RTX series of cards will most likely just use it for normal gaming. As a result, it seems like it is way too early for ray tracing technology and that it'll be much better suited for the next generation of cards. And right now, it is probably just better to get a 10 series equivalent of the 20 series card that you want in terms of traditional gaming performance, because the extra cost for ray tracing technology is simply not worth it. But again, The best thing to do right now is to just wait for the benchmarks to come out for the new 20 series cards before making any decisions on buying. While these reports are coming from really reliable sources, there may be something big that we are still missing. For example, the 20 series may be so good at gaming that it is still worth its high price. The 2080 Ti may be able to handle 4K at 144 frames plus easily, and ray tracing is just the icing on the cake. But only time will tell. So what do you guys think? Are you going to be getting a 20 series card? And do you think Nvidia will launch these same cards without the ray tracing technology? For example, a GTX 2080 and a GTX 2080 Ti. Make sure to comment down below what you guys think, because I do read all my comments and I'm curious as to what you guys think, so make sure to post your thoughts. Also, if you guys liked this video, then make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more videos just like this one. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.